It was June 17th, 1996, a quiet Monday morning in Hollow Creek, Texas. 8-year-old Liam Carter hopped on his red bicycle, same as every summer morning. His mother, Emily Carter, packed his backpack, peanut butter sandwich, a juice box, kiss on the forehead. Liam smiled, waved, pedaled off toward the park. He never made it. By 11:45 a.m., Emily began to worry. By 1 p.m., she was calling neighbors. By 3:30 p.m., the police were searching. Then they found it, Liam's bike, standing upright, near the old railway crossing, not crashed, not thrown, just placed there. No blood, no struggle, no tire tracks, no footprints. Police brought in dogs. They picked up Liam's scent, but it vanished, just a few steps past the bike, as if he'd disappeared into thin air. The whole town panicked. Posters went up. People started locking their doors, even during the day. Emily couldn't sleep. She told police. Liam hated that railway crossing. He would never go there. But that's exactly where his bike stood, quiet, alone. Then came something stranger. A truck driver, Greg Halford, reported seeing a boy, soaked in rain, barefoot, standing near an abandoned gas station 50 miles away. The boy held a red toy car, but when Greg turned around, he was gone. Only muddy footprints remained, leading into the woods. The story spread. News trucks arrived, police kept searching, but the park stayed silent. Porch lights flickered early, swing sets moved with no laughter. Emily sat on her porch every night, whispering Liam's name into the wind, hoping, praying that somehow he'd hear her. It was a sunny afternoon, July 18th, 1993, ordinary, peaceful. Liam Carter had just finished lunch. He wore his favorite red sneakers, a Spider-Man shirt, and carried a small plastic walkie-talkie. "Going outside, Mom?" he shouted, like he did every day. Emily in the kitchen waved him off. She didn't look up, didn't know it would be the last time. Liam stepped into the backyard. The grass was warm, the birds chirped. A light breeze moved the laundry on the clothesline. The wooden fence creaked. A dog barked in the distance. Then, nothing. Silence. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Emily glanced out the window. "Liam!" she called. No answer. She stepped outside, looked left, right behind the shed. No Liam. The gate was still locked, his toy truck untouched. The walkie-talkie lay on the ground, still on. Then came the panic. Emily ran through the house, checked every room, screamed his name again and again. She called 911, her voice shook. She could barely breathe. That same day, local police began a full search. They combed the yard, the woods behind the house, even the nearby creek. No signs of a struggle, no sounds reported, no footprints, no evidence. It was like he had simply vanished. By nightfall, search teams used dogs, helicopters, volunteers. But there was nothing, no trail, no scent, no Liam. Emily sat on the porch, eyes empty, clutching Liam's walkie-talkie to her chest. Static crackled from it, softly. Then, a voice, very faint, childlike. "Mommy, they're here." She dropped it, screamed, ran inside. When police played it back, there was nothing, just static. 2 weeks had passed, and the town finally gave up hope. The police had found nothing. No footprints, no witnesses, no leads, just silence. Emily Carter stood in black, holding her son's favorite red toy car. She wasn't crying. She couldn't. Inside the Hollow Creek Church, hundreds of people sat quietly, heads down. Even the priest struggled to speak. There was no body, just a small white casket, closed, empty. Emily placed the toy car inside it, like she was tucking Liam into bed. She whispered, "I know you're not gone. I still feel you breathing in my dreams." Nobody understood what she meant, but that night, she had a dream. It started quietly. She was standing in the kitchen, late evening, soft wind blowing through the window. Then, a knock at the door, 3 times, slow, heavy. She opened it, and Liam was standing there. But something was wrong. His skin was pale, lips slightly blue, and his eyes, they didn't blink. He didn't smile. He just whispered, "Mom, they don't like the light." Emily jolted awake, drenched in sweat. The clock read 3:03 a.m. And then she heard it. 3 knocks, real ones, at the front door. She ran to it, heart pounding, breath caught in her chest. But when she opened it, no one was there. Only the wind, only darkness, and a small, wet footprint on the wooden porch. A year had passed. 365 days without Liam. The walls of the Carter home felt colder now, quieter, wrong. Emily barely slept, barely spoke. She had quit her job. Paintings of Liam still hung on the wall, untouched. His room remained exactly the same. One night, July 18th again, exactly 1 year to the day, Emily sat alone in the living room. A thunderstorm rolled in. Rain tapped against the windows. Lightning flickered. And then, 3 knocks on the front door. Sharp, slow, deliberate. She froze. It was 3:12 a.m. She reached for her phone. No signal. The power blinked, then died. The house fell into darkness. She lit a candle, approached the door. Every step felt heavier, as if the floor itself wanted her to turn back. She looked through the peephole. Nothing, just empty porch. She opened the door. No one. But then, she looked down. A small red sneaker, wet, muddy, placed carefully on the doorstep. Emily gasped, dropped to her knees. Trembling, she picked it up. It was Liam's, the one he wore the day he vanished. Inside the shoe, a folded note, written in crayon, in Liam's handwriting. "Mommy, I'm still here." She screamed, slammed the door shut, ran to Liam's room. Everything was the same, except the walkie-talkie was on, sitting upright on the bed. Static humming. Then a whisper, very faint. "They don't like the light." She grabbed the device, threw it against the wall. It shattered. Silence. Then 3 more knocks, this time from inside the house. The next morning, Emily didn't sleep. She sat in the kitchen, clutching the red sneaker, eyes bloodshot, hands trembling. She wasn't crazy. She knew that shoe was real, the knock was real, the voice was real. She had to prove it. She went to the attic, a place she hadn't entered since before Liam disappeared. Dust, cobwebs, old boxes marked Liam's childhood. And then she saw it, A box labeled Baby Monitor Tapes. Years ago, she used to record Liam's sleep, just in case. She pulled the dusty box down, plugged in the old camcorder, slipped in the first tape, static. The second tape, crackling. The third, play. A grainy black and white video filled the screen. Liam's room, nighttime. He was sleeping peacefully. Date on the tape, 1 week before he vanished. She watched. Liam stirred, sat up in bed, looked at something off screen. Then he whispered, "I don't want to go there." Silence. He nodded, as if someone replied. Then he said, "But you said my mummy can't follow." Emily paused the tape, heart pounding. Rewound, played again. Liam clearly was talking to someone. She fast-forwarded. Liam lay back down, but in the corner of the room, the shadows began to move. Dark, tall, shifting. No figure, just darkness, pulling inward. And then, a voice. Not Liam's. A low, crackling whisper. "She'll forget. Just like they all do." Emily screamed, pulled the tape out. Behind the tape, a photo. Liam, smiling. But something was wrong. Behind him, a mirror. And in the reflection, a hand. Long, bony, not human. Emily couldn't breathe. The photo, the hand in the mirror, that thing had been in Liam's room. Not a dream, not a breakdown. It was real. She grabbed the photo, ran to her laptop, started searching. Child disappearances, Cold Hollow, unsolved cases, Red Creek County, Liam Carter, missing child. Then she clicked a link. The Forgotten Children, a series of disappearances in Cold Hollow. Her heart stopped. Faces, names, dates. 1983, 1997, 2005. All boys, all 6 years old, all disappeared in October. All from the same 2-mile radius. No bodies ever found, no suspects, no traces. Just like Liam. She clicked on one photo. Matthew Reed, disappeared October 12, 1997, and gasped. Matthew looked exactly like Liam. Same freckles, same dimple, same innocent eyes. No, not just similar. They were identical. She kept reading. A local myth. Something about the Pale Watcher. A figure seen by children before they vanished. One mother wrote, back in 1983, "He kept pointing to the wall and saying, 'He wants me to follow, but you won't see him.'" Another parent in 2005 had written, "He said, 'Mom, if I knock, promise you'll open the door.' That was the last thing he ever said to me." Emily's blood ran cold. She reached into her drawer, pulled out Liam's birth certificate, typed into a genealogy database. Her hands shook as the results loaded. Then, it appeared. Matthew Reed, same face, same birthmark, born exactly 30 years before Liam, same day, same time. No, this wasn't just a coincidence. This was a cycle. Liam was one of them, and he was never the first. He wouldn't be the last, unless she stopped it. Emily stood in the hallway, frozen. The map she found in the archives had shown something that didn't make sense. The house had one more room, a room that didn't appear on any modern floor plan, a sealed-off space behind Liam's closet. She stared at the wall. Beneath the old wallpaper, she noticed it, a faint outline, a doorway. Her breath quickened. She ran to the garage, came back with a crowbar. The wood behind the dry wall creaked as she pried it open. Dust poured out. Darkness spilled into the hallway, a narrow staircase leading down. Not to the basement, but somewhere deeper. She clicked on her flashlight. The steps groaned under her weight. Cobwebs brushed her face. Her breath echoed off the narrow walls. And then she reached the bottom, a small, windowless room. Rotting toys, faded photographs, children's shoes lined up neatly in a corner. She dropped the light. No. Each pair of shoes had a name written beneath. Matthew, Colin, Ezra, Daniel, Liam. A sound. Click. The door at the top slammed shut. She was trapped. She turned. In the farthest corner, something moved. Not quickly, but deliberately. A tall, pale figure stood up from the shadows. It didn't blink, didn't breathe. Its limbs were too long, its face blank. No eyes, no mouth, just skin, tight, cold, stretching where a face should be. She stepped back, trembling. "What are you?" she whispered. It didn't answer. It simply raised its hand and pointed to the wall behind her. She turned, and there it was, another mirror, just like Liam's. The surface shimmered like liquid, then a hand pressed through. Small, familiar, Liam's hand. He was inside. He was calling to her. "Mama, please, open the door," she screamed. "No, Liam, stay back." But the creature, it stepped closer. She realized it didn't want her. It wanted her to open the mirror, to let him through, to complete the ritual. She backed against the wall, tears in her eyes, mind racing. If she opened that mirror, would it bring Liam back or unleash something far worse into the world? Emily couldn't breathe. The room felt alive, not just haunted, but watching her, studying her. The faceless figure stood still, but somehow it was moving, without taking a single step. It loomed, closer and closer, without sound, without mercy. Liam's hand remained pressed against the mirror. His voice cracked. "Mama, I'm cold. It's so dark in here." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I'm coming, baby. I'm coming." She reached toward the mirror, her fingers inches away. But then she felt it. Breath on her neck, not hers, not Liam's. She turned, slowly, and saw another one, a second pale watcher. Smaller, crouching on the ceiling, its head rotated, completely upside down. No eyes, no mouth, but still, it smiled. She screamed and fell backward. The mirror rippled. Liam's face began to fade. "No, no, stay with me." The child's voice echoed. "Mama, he's coming." Who's coming?" And then they spoke, not with mouths, but inside her head. A whisper, sharp, cold, like shattered glass. "You took him from us. Now you take his place." The floor split. Beneath her, darkness, endless, alive. Hands reached out, dozens of them, small, childlike, but twisted, burned. hollow. They grabbed her ankles, her arms, pulling her toward the chasm. She fought, screamed, kicked. Above her, Liam cried, "Don't let go, Mama!" Suddenly, flash! A light burst from the mirror, blinding, pure, holy. The hands recoiled, the creatures hissed, and disappeared into the shadows. Emily collapsed to the floor, gasping. The mirror cracked, then shattered. But Liam's hand was gone. No voice, no knocking, just silence and dust. She was alone, again, until, knock, knock, from upstairs. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate, and a child's voice. "Mama?" Emily didn't sleep. She couldn't. She sat, curled in the hallway, staring at the staircase, the place where she'd last heard him. The knock, the voice, "Mama?" But she didn't answer this time, not yet. Instead, she opened the old box, the one she'd found in the hidden basement, buried beneath dust and bones and silence. Inside, newspaper clippings, dates, photos, children, all missing. Same age, same eyes, same story. A knock, a funeral, then the return. Every 11 years. Always the same week, always the same voice. And each time, a parent vanished instead, replacing the child. That was the deal, the trade, the curse. Emily whispered, "I know what you are now." She lit every candle in the house, drew a salt circle, surrounded Liam's mirror with pages from old hymnals and her grandmother's Bible. Then she waited and prayed. Midnight. The mirror began to shimmer. The glass bled, thick, black, and slow. From the dark, the pale watcher stepped through. No feet, just a slither, a smooth, gliding motion, unnatural. Its head tilted, and it spoke. "You summoned me, Emily." She didn't flinch. "You took my son. You gave him, just like the others. No, I'm taking him back." The creature laughed, a horrible, wet, bone-cracking sound. "He belongs to the hollow now." But Emily stepped into the circle, held up a locket, Liam's baby photo inside, and a jagged piece of broken mirror. "I know the rules, I know the trade, but this time," she cut her palm, let the blood drip into the mirror. "You take me." Silence. Then, the pale watcher shrieked and lunged forward. But the salt ignited, the mirror cracked again, and Liam's voice rang out, clear, pure, real. "Mama, no." She smiled, even as the flames rose. "Go, baby. Run." The mirror shattered completely. The creature dissolved into ash, the light faded, and Emily was gone. Just silence and wind. Then, footsteps, small, bare, Liam, alive, standing in the hallway, confused, tears in his eyes. He called out, "Mama!" But no one answered, only the faint sound of wind chimes and a whisper, "I'm always with you." 11 years later, a new town, a quiet neighborhood, a small blue house with white shutters. Inside, a family just moved in. Mom, Dad, and their 6-year-old son, Ethan. The boy loved to explore. Every room, every crack, every sound. But one place always made him pause. The hallway mirror. Old, worn, framed in scorched wood, as if it had survived something. His mother thought nothing of it. Just old house charm, she laughed. But Ethan saw things. He felt watched, especially at night. Then, on the 3rd night after moving in, he heard it. Knock, soft, but clear, from inside the mirror. He froze. Another knock, then a voice, a whisper. "Ethan?" He ran to his mother. "Mom, someone's in the mirror." She checked. Nothing. But that night, she dreamed of fire, of a woman's voice screaming, and a child vanishing into smoke. The days passed, the knocks returned, always at the same time. 11:11 p.m. Always the same whisper. "Let me in." Until one night. Ethan didn't tell his mother. He stood alone, staring into the mirror. The glass rippled. A shape formed, faint, a woman, hair in a bun, eyes wide, warm and full of pain. She spoke. "Don't answer. Not yet." Then, the mirror cracked. The lights exploded. The wind roared through the house, and a scream, so loud it shattered glass, echoed down the halls. Ethan dropped to his knees, crying, terrified. But when his mother ran in, the mirror was whole again. Just one thing had changed. A handprint, burned into the glass, small, child-sized, facing outward.